forward. First Ward Community Center in Saginaw is hosting a youth job fair March 11th, starting at noon and ending at 2. The event is geared towards students and young adults ages 16 to 24. First Ward's coordinator, Wendy Traylor, says they hope the event will move more of Saginaw's youth into the workforce. Applicants are encouraged to bring their resume and can pre-register, but it is not required. There will be several employers on site, including the DNR and other seasonal employees. First Ward Community Center is located at 1410 North 12th Street. WSGW News Time 9:07.
Hometown feel and big-time winning. That's Saginaw Eagles Landing, the place where everyone greets you with smile after smile. In the casino, at the restaurants, or in the hotel, this is a getaway that makes you feel right at home. We've got hundreds of slots, great food, and a comfy place to stay. So come on in and see what the good times are all about. Saginaw Eagles Landing Casino and Hotel. Real fun, real friendly. Visit saginaw-eagleslanding.com for complete rules and details.
We're still facing COVID-19, and now it's flu season. Why not face them together? You can get your COVID-19 vaccine and your flu vaccine at the same time. Just ask your doctor. You'll save time and you could save lives. People 65 and older and those with underlying health conditions are especially at risk. Let's face COVID-19 and the flu together, Michigan. Get vaccinated. Learn more at michigan.gov/flu. Sponsored by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and the Michigan Association of Broadcasters.
WSGW News Time 9:08. The weather forecast is next. The Genesee County Sheriff's Department say they've arrested a 36-year-old man who allegedly beat a 1-year-old German Shepherd puppy named Pluto to make another family member do what he wanted. Police say the puppy was in the wrong place at the wrong time and is now safe. The suspect is charged with using an animal in a domestic violence incident with a prison term of up to 10 years and an animal abuse misdemeanor charge. Each year, hundreds of thousands of people die from smoking-related illnesses in the United States. A new study shows evidence to consider e-cigarettes as an alternative. Kenneth Warner, professor emeritus and dean emeritus at U of M School of Public Health, says cigarettes are a dangerous device and tools like electronic cigarettes can be an effective way for adults to quit smoking.
But if you look at who is paying the price of nicotine addiction, it's not kids, it's adult smokers. Cigarettes are the single most lethal product ever invented by humankind. Think about the fact that more people worldwide died of cigarette smoking in the 20th century than died in World Wars I and II, and it's not even close.
In the end, he says there's no advantage to start using electronic cigarettes, but there is an advantage when used to quit smoking. The new study was published in Nature Medicine. A man could face charges for shooting at sandhill cranes in southwest Michigan Schoolcraft Township. The DNR says it happened in January, and the suspect recorded himself on video shooting a .22 caliber rifle from a second-story window into a field across the street. Investigators say the birds, which are federally protected, flew away after the first shot, and the suspect continued to fire shots. WSGW News Time 9:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. A winter storm watch goes into effect on Wednesday afternoon. Tonight, rain and or snow showers possible in the area early. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and breezy with steady or falling temperatures across the region. Winds turn to the west, 10 to 25 miles per hour. Higher gusts possible. Tonight, it remains mostly cloudy. Chance for snow showers redeveloping. Lows make it down into the middle 20s. Winds turn to the east and diminish to 5 to 10. And then Wednesday becomes breezy. Chance for more snow showers, up to an inch could accumulate. And highs top out near 32. I'm meteorologist Phil Jensko with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Right now it's 34.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, the Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
And indeed, Westside Decorating Center at 5789 State Street in Saginaw with a newly expanded showroom. Everything you need for home decorating will be found at Westside Decorating Center. Good morning to you. I'm Art Lewis, and we are on the road today to Krizak's House Family Restaurant for Punchki Day, Fat Tuesday. Been here since about 5 o'clock this morning. Be here till about 11:30 this morning. And it is a fun time here with the Kowalski Polka Band. They're taking a break right now, but I'm sure at some point during the program you will hear them fire up again. And we have some special guests later on after the 10 o'clock news. We're going to be talking about sickle cell, a disease very prominent in the Black community. It's Black History Month, and we're going to talk to a specialist from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. The SVRC Marketplace will be the subject of focus today, right after the 11 o'clock news. But for this hour, we're going to talk a little bit about the climate and climate change with someone we've had on many times in the past. He is a videographer who specializes in the environment and does work for some organizations around the country and publishes and all of that good stuff. And he is Peter Sinclair, who is with us this morning on the stream. And Peter, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art. You're at Krizak's house. If I'd known, I would have joined you there.
I should have told you. You could have. Although I don't know how punchkis do with the environment. That's kind of a different animal, to say the least. And, I have to ask, because this winter has been different. It's been warmer, according to all the experts, than normal. How much of it do we attribute to global warming and what we, the population, do, and what Mother Nature does on her own?
Well, one year or one season to the next, there's a whole lot of just variability in the way weather plays out. But I think anybody over the age of 40, and certainly folks that have gray hair like I do, certainly remember. Yeah, so we remember that winters, on the average, were quite a bit different than what we see this winter, and that we're seeing more winters like this with bare ground, through January and February. And certainly anybody that is a skier or a snowmobiler or an ice fisherman, anybody that spends a lot of time outside knows the difference. Farmers also know the difference, not just in winter, but just about all the seasons. So that slow, gradual change is really what we're looking at in terms of the human-caused, gradual upward pressure on global temperature.
Caused by?
Heat-trapping gases, primarily carbon dioxide from fuels we burn, like coal, oil, and gas.
And where does it trap the heat?
Well, it's a pretty interesting story. Most of the heat that gets trapped in the oceans, which is, when you think about it, 2/3 of the surface is water of the globe, and a given volume of water will hold literally 1,000 times more heat than the same volume of air. So most of that heat that gets trapped gets pulled down into the oceans. And so it's that measurement of ocean heat that is really the critical one that, in fact, some of the scientists that I have known and interviewed over the years have been measuring quite closely over the last decade or two.
Is that a change? And by that, I mean, early on in the days of climate change, we were hearing about the atmosphere and the hole in the atmosphere or lack thereof or what have you. And you're talking about the oceans now. Have we given up on the atmosphere?
No, it's just that we have much better tools to measure the heat in the deep ocean now than we did 20 years ago. So, we're still measuring the temperature in the atmosphere, and that is gradually climbing upwards. The atmospheric temperature record, if you go to, say, climate.nasa.gov, you can look at it. It has a lot of fits and starts and burps and hiccups, as it makes its way up. But that ocean temperature record is just a very steady upward line that is seeming to accelerate.
So
we have, go ahead.
No, I was going to say if the ocean traps that heat, how do we end up with it in the atmosphere to have a warmer than normal winter, for say?
Well, I mean, so there's a constant exchange between the ocean and atmosphere. So if I have a pot of warm water, hot water in my kitchen, and I blow a fan over it, that warm air is going to be conducted around the room. So similarly with oceans, whenever there's a big storm, that the ocean and the atmospheric heat are mixing. That heat from the ocean is fuel for hurricanes, for instance. So that's a big mixing process where that heat is sort of taken and dispersed all over the planet, north and south.
So you've been at this a while, Peter. And over the many years, going back even into the 60s, there was a lot of doubt about climate change, and there were a lot of doubters about climate change. And one of the reasons was we kept telling we were told continually that doomsday was coming. 14 years from now, we're not going to be able to do this or so forth. And then the 14 years comes and we get another date certain. And then 14 years or 15 or 12 or whatever comes and we get another date certain. Have we stopped doing that now? Are we just going to worry about how to fix the problem rather than tell us we're all going to die in a year?
Well, when I started doing this, really intensely about 15 years ago, I spent most of my time trying to explain what scientists were telling me about, I'm not a scientist, but I talk to scientists and I like to think that I can translate what they're saying. I was trying to explain that to people and sort of push back against what I thought was, and what the scientists were telling me was misinformation about climate. More recently, I've had to spend more and more time sort of talking people off the ledge a little bit, because there is a bit of a cottage industry online of just doomerism and, it's the end of the world and all that. And what I tell people, when people tell me, the world's going to end and pick a date, I just say, we're not getting off that easy. This is, we're actually going to have to face this problem just like any other problem that we have in life or in politics or nationally. I mean, first we have to admit we have a problem, and then we have to squarely and soberly just face up to it and say, okay, what's the first thing we have to do to deal with this?
Well, it's one of the reasons that I enjoy talking to you. You're not in that doomsday culture. You do come at it from a more scientific standpoint. And I think even people who were total doubters decades ago have come around to accept that maybe we as humans do have some responsibility in what's happening. I don't know that you're ever going to get the doubters to believe that they're totally responsible, because I don't think they are totally responsible. The earth has its own cycles, but it's more plausible when you hear it from a scientific standpoint rather than a speculative and doomsday standpoint. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, and I think this conversation is really spreading across the country, because I've been hearing from people who are, let's say, really on the conservative side of things, reaching out to me sometimes just out of the blue and saying, hey, what's going on here? They look at like a season like we've had, or maybe some of the extreme weather events that have happened in the last few years, and they're starting to wonder, is this really something I need to be concerned about? And so I've been spending a lot of time traveling across Michigan and the Midwest in support of some of the solutions, which are like clean energy, like solar and wind and stuff like that. And when you tell people in a community that not that they're the problem, but they're part of the solution, then suddenly that whole conversation becomes so much less toxic and so much more interesting. And I've got, good friends who still don't quite go along with me on the climate thing, but they love the wind turbines that are in their community, or they really want to bring solar to their community to help their farmers and help the local institutions and stuff.
All right, we'll talk more about that. I've got to take a break. We're back. We're talking to
Sure.
Peter Sinclair about the environment and global warming and climate change, I guess is the more accurate term now. Let me take a moment here to talk about your 401k. It's an important asset for many American retirements. You made contributions to your 401k every single paycheck for years. Tune in Sundays at 8 a.m. on WSGW for Financial and Power Hour with Jason and Carl Kreiderman from Great Lakes Investment in Midland. They'll give you information like how your 401k tax advantages and portability may enable workers to build sizable and important nest eggs, but its flexibility can also be costly if you aren't aware of potential mistakes. Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a guide that will teach you how to avoid an IRS early distribution penalty and full taxation on rollovers. A little-known weapon you can use, your most mistake-proof option, and more. You can request your guide today by calling 989-835-7203 or visiting GreatLakesInvestmentAdvisors.com. This commercial shall in no way be construed as a solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or where otherwise permitted. Topic should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan. And we will be back with more after these notes.
This week, Staples has deals so good, you're going to want to sit down. Are you sitting? I'll wait. Great. Right now during Staples Sit-a-thon, select chairs are up to 50% off, like the Union and Scale Essentials Task Chair, now just $89.99 at Staples. You save $90. Plus, a 24-pack of True Clear bottled water is only $2.99, or only $1.99 with the Staples Connect app. So take a seat or two. Right now at Staples, the working, learning, and saving store. Ends 2/25. In-store only. Water limit 1 while supplies last.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Why would you pay full price when you know that you can save money at RocketGrabPlus.com? Check out all of our half-off deals going on right now from Applied Training Solutions, Daylight Outfitters, Super Cute, Salon Blue, the Bubble Tea Brew House, and Style Encore. All of these deals are half off. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now and snag your deal before they sell out. RocketGrabPlus.com.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Walmart shares are lower, though it reported strong sales for the holiday quarter. The company's predicting sales increases this year will be just 2.5% or lower. Walmart does say it's gaining market share in the grocery business, including among higher income households looking to save money, but sales of non-food items fell during the quarter. Home Depot is predicting its earnings will drop this year. The company reported an upbeat quarter, but it's being cautious about coming months. It's also investing $1 billion in wages, benefits, and training for its staff. United Airlines Holdings is launching a fund with a goal of producing sustainable aviation fuel. It's being funded with more than $100 million from the company and partners that include Air Canada, Boeing, and others. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
A good work partner knows what you need before you need it. That's how it feels when you work with Cintas. Your dedicated Cintas service reps get to know your business and have the industry knowledge that can help you prepare for what's ahead. They'll deliver your team's workwear freshly laundered. Make sure your first aid and safety supplies, mats, mops, and towels are stocked when you need them. And your fire extinguishers are inspected and in working order. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars, Lose the Weight or Stop Smoking. Guaranteed only $49.99. Seminar Saturday, March 4th at the Bay Valley Resort and Conference Center in Bay City. Weight loss seminar starts at 11 a.m. Registration 10:30 a.m. Stop Smoking starts at 2 p.m. Registration 1:30 p.m.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robbins show, it's National Pancake Day. Did you hear about the angry pancake? David, have you?
Nope.
Oh, you just flipped.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
We're back with you here on WSGW, talking to Peter Sinclair about the environment and climate change, all those good things. You mentioned, Peter, before the break, of course, the move toward clean energy, wind, solar, and the like. There are a lot of people concerned that we're not going to have enough of it, that it's not being built fast enough to replace the closing of the coal plants and other plants. And with the advent of electric vehicles, the demand is going to go up. We all watch California and see what happens out there. What are your expectations on clean energy and being able to supply the needs of the country?
Well, we do need to be building more of it. We've got a whole lot of coal plants in Michigan and across the Midwest that aren't darn near as old as you and me. We can't keep running them for too much longer because they're just getting, there's only so long you can keep these things together with duct tape and chewing gum. And so what are you going to replace them with? And right now, the cheapest new electricity to put on the grid is solar and wind. Natural gas is still an option out there, but if you've been following, say, the prices of natural gas over the last year, while we've had this war in Ukraine, which is really a war about energy, Russia has been using natural gas as a weapon. And so over the summer, the price of natural gas went up by a factor of 10 in Europe, and I think by a factor of 3 or 4 or 5 here in the United States. So I don't know how many times we're going to have to learn this lesson in our lifetimes, is that being tied to a global commodity like this, where we can be blackmailed with somebody, some dictator or autocrat somewhere putting a squeeze on us, it just doesn't seem like a good idea. So I'm advocating that we build out the wind and solar, which are pretty quick to build once you can site them, to take up the slack now. And it's expected that there will be some other technologies available perhaps in the 2030 timeframe. Some people say it will be a new form of nuclear energy, but we won't know that for a decade or so. I'm hearing from a lot of good engineers that the dark horse is what's called deep geothermal, which is using all that expertise we've developed from doing fracking and stuff over the last 20 years to dig really, really deep holes, drill really deep holes, and then tap that heat that is under our feet, no matter where we are on the planet. If you go deep enough, you run into hot rocks. And we're learning how to tap that now.
You mentioned the word nuclear, and I was going to bring it up. If somebody said to you, nuclear may be the future, and there's supposedly a new form of nuclear that's safer, reliable, what would you say?
Well, I'd say good luck. There's only one nuclear plant currently under construction in the United States. It's the Vogtle plant down in Georgia. It's 7 or 8 years overdue. and it's like doubled in price. And they just announced another $200 million cost increase just this past week.
Sounds like someplace you're familiar with, like Midland.
Well, the more things change, the more they stay the same. And what I tell people is, look, somewhere people got the idea that nuclear power got held up because a bunch of hippies didn't like it. But the fact is that it's really hard to build a nuclear plant, and it's very complicated. And there's fewer people now that know how to do it than, say, 30 years ago. And all across the world, in Britain, in France, in Finland, we've got these big, giant nuclear projects that have been held up for years, way over budget, and they all kind of look the same. Now, there are new technologies, notably the so-called small nuclear reactor technologies. Bill Gates is a big proponent of these, and he's been working at it. Obviously, one of the smartest and richest guys in the world. He's teamed up with a whole lot of other smart, rich guys and some big foundations, biggest corporations in the world, and the U.S. government. And he's been trying to get this project off the ground for more than a decade, and he's 8 years behind schedule and over budget. So it's if he can do what he says he's going to do, which is make it safe and clean and cheap and solve all the problems and no more waste and don't have to worry about nuclear weapons, then who wouldn't want that? That's what everybody wants. But I just have to caution people that it does not exist right now. And there's a lot of people working really hard at it, really smart people, really good people. And it's just a mammoth boulder to get rolling.
Let me ask about the possibility, any possibility of clean coal.
I don't think there's much hope for clean coal. There is a process that I don't know a whole lot about of burning gas that allows you to pull off the heat trapping gases, the carbon dioxide, etc. And I understand there is a small pilot plant in Texas that is doing that. And frankly, I haven't heard too much coming out of that in the last couple of years. So I really don't know how much progress they're making on that.
I mean, theoretically, though, if somebody could develop a process that demonstrated to you clean stack emissions from coal, would you agree to it?
Well, you got a whole lot of problems with coal. I mean, number one, you got to mine it, which is a huge environmental impact. And then once you burn it, you end up with these enormous piles of coal ash, which a lot of people don't appreciate. That's the second largest waste stream in the United States behind household trash is coal ash. And it's full of lead and mercury and cadmium and arsenic and 100 other things that come from burning this black stuff that you would not want to put on your breakfast cereal. And it's just stacking up in these giant piles, 90% of which are leaking into ground and surface water, which we don't want. And sooner or later, somebody's going to have to pay for that cleanup if we don't want to just accept that toxic pollution for perpetuity. And that'll be the taxpayers. And so it's just that solar and wind are so much cheaper right now. I mean, solar and wind are between $30 and $50 a megawatt hour. Coal is, to build anything like a so-called clean coal plant would be way over $100 a megawatt hour, probably $130, $140, $150 a megawatt hour. those are the estimates because nobody's really seriously working on that in the United States.
All right, hang on. I got to take a break. We're talking to Peter Sinclair about climate change and the environment, and we will be back to do more of it after these notes.
Steve, what is that?
My new car.
It looks expensive.
Honey, that's why I'm taking it to Paintbull for rust proofing, graphene coating, maybe even some paint film.
Paintbull? You'll find any reason to go to Paintbull.
Well, I want this car to last and to look good, so I look good driving it.
You mean so I look good driving it?
What?
Gotta go.
Keep your vehicle looking great at Paintbull on Bay Road in Saginaw. We're more than a body shop. Visit paintbullrepair.com.
What's the most important part of a retirement plan?
Income is king because we all need income. And if you don't have an income plan, you don't have a retirement plan.
That's Kevin Ray, financial coach at Insight Folios. Kevin tells his listeners every week about the importance of income planning, minimizing taxes, and strategies to lead a worry-free retirement. Learn all about that and get your own complimentary financial review by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
I thought learning a language would be too much work. Then I discovered Babbel. They make learning fun. J'aime Babbel.
Babbel's lessons only take 10 or 15 minutes, quick and easy. And soon you turn and realize, hey, I'm starting to speak another language. How'd that happen?
My friend from Italy said my accent and pronunciation is perfect. It's because Babbel's lessons are designed by language teachers and voiced by real native speakers. Each lesson is like living in another country for 15 minutes.
I love that there's all kinds of ways to learn. Babbel's podcast or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
You learn words and phrases you actually use in real conversations.
In 3 weeks, I was starting to speak in another language. So easy.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than Babbel.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
I'll second guess dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine hepatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall. If you're allergic to pork or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
Local news and information for Saginaw, Bay City and Midland, and all of the Great Lakes Bay region. It's not easy or convenient to get unless you get the WSGW newsletter. I'm WSGW News Director Denise Shannon. Every weekday morning, WSGW sends a newsletter highlighting your local news. It's a newsletter you can get for free in your inbox. Sign up online at WSGW.com. Scroll down the homepage and click on the WSGW newsletter sign-up box.
The WSGW Broadcasting Studios are sponsored by the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center in Midland.
All right, we're back with you talking to Peter Sinclair about the environment and climate change. Peter, you've been at this a while, and throughout your career, you have focused on the environment and ecology and all of those things. Have you seen improvement?
Well, some areas we're making great progress. We've made really good progress with, I think, developing the idea in big industries that when you are polluting, that's waste. And it's like you're flushing money away. And so I think the ethic of a circular economy, finding ways to keep recycling what used to be waste streams, turn them into some kind of productive process. It has taken hold pretty well, and you really see that with some of the newer industries, like in the EV industry. There's been a huge effort to try to figure out how to recycle those EV batteries. And in fact, now there's a company called Redwood that was founded by an alumnus of Tesla that expects to produce a tremendous amount of the battery materials that we need from recycling older batteries. And Ford, for instance, has signed a contract with these guys. So they're seriously scaling a lot of these processes.
Let's talk about that for a moment, because there are those folks who say, you know, are EVs really helping the planet? Because, yeah, on the one hand, there's nothing coming out of the tailpipe, but on the other hand, to get the lithium out of the ground and all of that and the mining that goes with it, it's just as disturbing to the environment. What do you say?
Well, I have to take issue with that because, you know, I talked to a guy named Jim Crane at Rice University in the business school who had done a survey of this over the last few years. And he, first of all, pointed out that in 2020, the amount of coal that we mined was like, take a guess how much more coal we mine than lithium. How much more would you think? Would you say 10 times?
I would say a lot.
Yeah, it's 100,000 times in 2020. We mined 100,000 times more coal than we did lithium, and that so even if we but
the lithium industry is infancy compared to coal. At
Sure.
some point in time, when do those numbers cross?
Those numbers will never cross because even if we increase the lithium by a factor of 20 or 30, which is kind of what people are talking about, you know, you're still orders of magnitude below what we're currently doing with coal. And again, remember, you pull the coal out of the ground and then you burn it, and now you've got a waste product. You pull the lithium out of the ground, you use it, then you recycle it. You know, so that's kind of a different animal than what we've seen in the past. So there's a whole lot of people making these kind of equivalencies between these old processes and these newer processes, and it's just the numbers just don't support that.
What about other technologies for the automobile? There's talk about, for example, hydrogen power has been around a long time, been talked about, tried to make efficient. You think that'll come?
Well, I think, you know, people like Elon Musk, as crazy as he sometimes is, he knows a little bit about this, and he does not see hydrogen as being having much of a future in autos, just because hydrogen doesn't produce energy. It's a carrier of energy, and you have to produce the hydrogen somehow. And that's a process that we hope will become more efficient over time. And there'll be a role for hydrogen, possibly in air travel, possibly in things like making steel, where you need a whole lot of heat, you know. So there's a role for hydrogen, but people are still trying to figure out how that fits in, say, automotive transport. I think Nissan made a big play on that and hasn't worked out all that well for them. So that's a struggle.
Let's just for a minute look at the automotive industry, because I remember growing up and my first car got about 9 miles a gallon. And my current car, on average, gets about 25 miles a gallon. The fuel is now unleaded. I mean, we've made, and there's catalytic converters, we've made strides in reducing the emission coming out of the tailpipe, haven't we?
Absolutely. And I can remember going to my my parents took me to the New York World's Fair in 1965, and I remember just the brown cloud over that city as we approached it.
I grew up there.
Okay, well, but you know what I'm talking about.
I know it. I do.
So, if you go to our major cities now, you don't see that. I mean, New York, Chicago, whatever, love them or hate them, they are by comparison gleaming, compared to what they were, say, in the mid 60s, And so that's real progress. And you can say the same thing about the water in places like the Hudson River and stuff. That's the water is so much cleaner coming out of the Hudson that they're starting to see dolphins and whales that they had not seen in decades and decades.
All right, given that, why are we still then creating hotter oceans? If we've reduced our emissions, we've cleaned up the cities considerably, there is less and less coal burning, although it still happens. Why are we still in trouble?
Well, because we're, globally, we're still burning a lot of coal and a lot of gas. And in fact, I think probably as much or more than ever. And there's hope. There's people that say we're starting to peak as efficiency gets better and as we're starting to generate more from the cleaner technologies. But those heat trapping gases, that carbon dioxide that goes up in the air, it stays there for a really long time. It will stay there for hundreds, if not thousands of years. And so we're still adding to those gases that we put up in the 1940s and 50s and 60s. And we keep piling on top of that. And those new heat trapping gases continue to trap more heat. So that's a problem.
All right, hang on. We're going to take one more break, come back and finish up. We're talking to Peter Sinclair. And we are at Krijak's in Bay City for Punchki Day and Fat Tuesday. And it's a great place to come and have a good time on this Tuesday. Let me talk about my auto dealer, Tom McDonald and McDonald Ford. I get to talk about them now because they have been my auto dealer for a long time. We've bought our cars there for years and years. And as the name implies, they're a Ford dealer. They're located on M47 in Freeland. But there's so much more because they've got this wonderful pre-owned inventory lot. I drove through yesterday. I saw a Mercedes. I saw an Audi, plus all the other things you'll find like Chevys, Cadillacs, Jeeps, Lincolns, so forth, so on. As a matter of fact, I'm driving a vehicle this month from their pre-owned inventory. It's a 2019 Z71 Trail Boss Silverado pickup. Great vehicle, and it's from McDonald Ford. It's been through an extensive 100-point inspection, so when you drive it, you can drive it with confidence. But if you have a problem, they have an enormous service department that handles both minor and major repairs. And in addition to that, they have the drive collision service for fender benders, and they have the quick lane for your oil changes and minor service. And, of course, they sell tires and all kinds of other wonderful things. But more than that, they're part of the community. Recently, they paid off the Freeland High School library debt. The dealership paid it off. That's what I call a good corporate citizen. McDonald Ford, my dealer of choice, has been for many years. Whether you're looking for a Ford or a pre-owned vehicle, the McDonald staff will treat you like family. McDonald Ford, 6790 Midland Road in Freeland, devoted to helping and serving you. We'll be back after these notes.
Hey everyone, Eric Crane here with Crane's L&M and how important it is to make sure you get the best bang for your buck. Well, now is the best time with our B4 tax refund sale. Take advantage of special pricing and rebates on GE, LG, and Frigidaire products. Tax refunds go further here at Crane's as we offer new, rebuilt, and scratch and dent appliances. Crane's L&M Appliance Center, 3260 Bay Road in 556 West Carroll Road in Carroll, where we want to earn your business.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband. He lost weight. More important, cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend went and she lost 20 pounds in the first 2 months. So does Mark Patrick hypnosis work? Oh yeah, it works. Nothing has changed my life more. Well, husband, he's so proud of me, makes me cry.
Isn't that great? What are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking, guaranteed for only $49.99. That's right. Weight loss seminar Saturday, March 4th at the Bay Valley Resort and Conference Center in Bay City at 11 a.m. Registration 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Registration 1:30 p.m. Sign up at mark.com.
Let's face it, credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Here's my card.
I order takeout, here's my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online and you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR. But with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 7.99% APR with autopay and excellent credit.
Now I can pay off my high-interest credit cards and save money. The much lower.
At lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. Lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 7.99% APR to 21.49% APR and include a 0.5% autopay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you roll the Charmin, don't you stop on the party. This is supposed to roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistibly soft and hella nice. My grip is always soft. It's our party vice. So our chicks feel fine. So everybody wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
I gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. La 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 la. With up for 40 days of consistency. All over Febreze car clips right on your bed. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face. When it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah, breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
This week, Staples has deals so good, you're going to want to sit down. Are you sitting? I'll wait. Great. Right now during Staples Sit-a-thon, select chairs are up to 50% off, like the Union and Scale Essentials Task Chair, now just $89.99 at Staples. You save $90. Plus, a 24-pack of True Clear bottled water is only $2.99, or only $1.99 with the Staples Connect app. So take a seat or two. Right now at Staples, the working, learning, and saving store. Ends 2/25. In-store only. Water limit 1 while supplies last.
Knocks it to Larkin, wide open right side. Here's Ferry to Bertuzzi, scores! And the Red Wings score on the power play.
The Red Wings play 6:45 tonight on 100.5 News Radio WSGW.
And we are back with you here at Krijak's house talking to Peter Sinclair about the environment. We had a caller ask if you know if thorium is a viable option or alternative in a nuclear reactor instead of plutonium.
Well, I know that it can be done, and I think that there's I think India is using that technology, and you hear a lot about it online. And I'm not an engineer, but I'm going to assume that people like Bill Gates, in their research on reactor technologies, probably looked at that pretty closely, and they decided to take another route. But I should say that one of the problems that Gates and others are having with their reactor designs is that the fuel they're using is a very specific kind of uranium. 100% of the global supply of that fuel comes from Russia.
No.
And that is a big part of the delays that they've seen in the last few years. They suddenly realized, suddenly all these very smart people realized, oops, that might not be a good idea. So as a result, there's $1 billion tucked into the new federal legislation to try to jumpstart a whole fuel supply industry in the United States that has not existed. So that's the example of the real barriers that we're dealing with here. It's not just because some bureaucrat in Washington's trying to hold it up. It's a real problem.
Well, we're going to have to end with that because time, the old clock caught up with me here. But as always, Peter, we'll have to do it again. It's always fun.
I hope so, Art. I find these so fascinating, and I just really enjoy your questions and your perspectives.
I enjoy chatting with you, too. Have a great day. Take care.
Okay, you too.
Bye-bye now. Peter Sinclair, we thank him for joining us today. Take our last break, and then we will come back and close out this edition of this hour of the Art Lewis Show.
Your home is your haven, and energy-efficient window treatments can make it feel even more comfortable throughout the year. Hi, this is Mary Ann from Warden Interiors in Frankenmuth. Now through April 10th, you can save big with generous rebates on energy-efficient shades that help keep your home cool in the summer and warm during winter. Don't wait to shop the Hunter Douglas Energy Smart Style Savings event going on now. Warden Interiors in Frankenmuth is celebrating over 60 years in business. We'll help you bring it all together.
This segment of Our Community's Care is brought to you by the Saginaw Community Foundation. For the month of February, Saginaw Community Foundation proudly spotlights Major Chords for Minors. Major Chords for Minors was created in 2011 to provide free music lessons and instruments to kids whose families might not otherwise be able to afford this for their kids. Our professional instructors teach individual lessons on piano, guitar, and drums for Saginaw kids in 3rd through 12th grade. MCFM has a vision for a community where all children have access to growth through music and mentorship, regardless of their family's economic circumstance. Since its founding in 2011, Major Chords for Minors has provided free music instruction to over 1,500 at-risk kids from low-income families living in Saginaw. MCFM is funded solely through donations and grants. Each donation helps us achieve our goal to build better children through music. Anyone interested in supporting our cause can visit majorchordsforminors.org to donate or mail to P.O. Box 3629, Saginaw, Michigan 48605.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is from Sung Yi Fitness in Saginaw. You're going to get half off of a 1-year kids Taekwondo membership or a 1-year kids Jiu-Jitsu membership. Sung Yi is the premier destination for martial arts training in Saginaw, with classes for all ages, taught by expert instructors who are passionate about the art of Taekwondo and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. This deal is for new members only. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
All right, that'll do it for this first hour of the Art Lewis Show. We will be back with a special guest from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan to talk about sickle cell disease. All of that is ahead here on WSGW and the news.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by General Steel.
I'm Linda Kenyon in Washington. Russian President Putin says Russia is pulling out of the last remaining arms control treaty between the world's two main nuclear powers. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken responding to the report.
The announcement by Russia that it's suspending participation in USARC is deeply unfortunate and irresponsible. We'll be watching carefully to see what Russia actually does. We'll, of course, make sure that in any event we are postured appropriately for the security of our own country and that of our allies.
The treaty, called the New START, bans nuclear weapons testing. It has been in effect since the Cold War. In Poland, President Biden is meeting with NATO leaders discussing the Russian war against Ukraine.
I can proudly say that our support for Ukraine remains unwavering.
I'm Stephen Portnoy in Warsaw. The president's remarks here come hours after Vladimir Putin delivered his annual State of the Nation address in Moscow. In a speech that ran nearly 2 hours, Putin railed against the West, accusing the U.S. and its allies of starting the war.
We
we're doing everything possible, really everything possible, to settle that problem by peaceful means.
The war against Ukraine is now entering its second year. Another earthquake has hit Turkey and Syria. It comes 15 days after a quake that claimed the lives of more than 44,000 people. Its latest quake was a 6.4 magnitude, much smaller than the first one. Turkey's Disaster Management Authority said today's quake killed 6 people and injured 294 others. It struck in the same area as the quake that hit previously. Rescue efforts from that quake have tapered off into recovery operations in several of Turkey's provinces. Reports out of rebel-held northern Syria have been less comprehensive. Brace yourselves. A major storm is coming.
A potentially historic snowstorm stretching from the Four Corners all the way into the Northeast today through Friday. It could actually drop up to 2 feet of snow in some places.
That's Weather Channel meteorologist Stephanie Abrams. Health concerns continue in East Palestine, Ohio. CBS's Roxana Saberi reports.
A medical clinic is set to open in East Palestine, Ohio, where experts are expected to meet residents who have suffered a variety of health issues since a toxic train derailment earlier this month. Ohio's Governor Mike DeWine announced last week that the state would be opening the clinic, saying residents' concerns are legitimate, though he also said air and municipal water quality tests are so far coming back fine. Roxana Saberi, CBS News.
Today is Fat Tuesday. That means tomorrow is Ash Wednesday. This is CBS News.
Business owners, General Steel can help save you thousands by owning your own custom-designed buildings. Call 888-98-STEEL or visit GeneralSteel.com.
Finding great people to hire is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's pretty difficult, right? Well, ZipRecruiter has mastered finding a needle in a haystack, so they take it to the next level. They make hiring so simple that it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. And that's why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Here's what it's like to use ZipRecruiter. They have so many qualified candidates that it's easier to find the right ones for your roles. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's a lot of needles. So how do they do it? ZipRecruiter's powerful technology sends you candidates who are a great match for your job, and you can even invite your top choices to apply. So if you want less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Why do I like to work at Alpha Media Saginaw? Endless opportunities.
Fun work environment. Flexible schedules.
Alpha Media Saginaw is expanding their marketing department and looking for the right team player to continue to help local businesses grow through on-air and digital campaigns. We offer flexible schedules, full benefits, and paid holidays. If you have a passion for sales and love building relationships in the community, contact General Sales Manager Terry Gustafson at 989-752-3456 or apply online at alphamediausa.com/careers.
Alpha Media is an EEO employer. It's Jesse Kelly here. I can't afford to lose 30% of my 401k or IRA again, and I'm assuming you can't either. Call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick your precious metals. That's it. You now own precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today to learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan. 833-404-GOLD. 833-404-GOLD.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom. This is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 34 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. The driver received only minor injuries after a crash with a semi-tractor trailer in Saginaw Township Monday morning. The crash was reported just before 10 o'clock at the corner of Gratiot and Center Roads. Police say a man driving a silver Chevy Impala failed to stop for a red light while driving south on Center, crashing into the side of the semi. The car was wedged under the trailer, but the driver was able to be extracted from the car. Despite the damage to the vehicle, the driver was alert and treated for only minor injuries. Police are investigating the crash. The driver of the semi was not injured. The Delta College President's Speaker Series event for Wednesday has been canceled. John Quinones, an ABC News correspondent, Emmy Award winner, and creator of the TV series What Would I Do? What Would You Do? will not be coming to the area due to the winter storm scheduled to affect the area on the same day. He was planning to meet with Latino organizations in the community in addition to the free events at Delta. The college is working to find a new date for the event. 2 Bay City buildings are going up for auction starting today. Bidding for the former historic St. Joseph's Church at 1011 and 1125 3rd Street, plus the St. Joseph Gymnasium at 1120 North Grant Street will begin at noon, starting at $1 apiece. The church was built in 1906 and was closed as a result of parish consolidation in 2014. The auction will run through 2:35 p.m. Thursday for the gym and 3:40 p.m. Thursday for the church. It will take place online at rimarketplace.com. For more information, send an email to kyle.hines with a Y at marcusmillichap.com. WSGW News Time 10:07.
Spring break is on the way. Do you plan to get away?
Yep, gonna fly the kids to the sunny side of the U.S.
Heading for the mountains for a family ski vacation. Hope there's snow.
No matter the plans, MBS International Airport is ready for takeoff. With services through Delta and United Airlines, you'll feel upgraded as soon as you walk through the door. Book your flight today at mbsairport.org, and we'll help you break away this spring.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Why would you pay full price when you know that you can save money at RocketGrabPlus.com? Check out all of our half-off deals going on right now from Applied Training Solutions, Daylight Outfitters, Super Cute, Salon Blue, the Bubble Tea Brewhouse, and Style Encore. All of these deals are half off. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now and snag your deal before they sell out.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
WSGW News Time 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. Livonia police are providing an update on the 2 Detroit officers found dead. The officers have been identified as a 22-year-old Maria Martin and 26-year-old Matthew Ethington II. A preliminary investigation by the medical examiner revealed Officer Martin allegedly died from being shot multiple times, while Officer Ethington II died from a single gunshot. Officials believe that was self-inflicted. The 2 were found Sunday afternoon at a condominium in Livonia after a family member requested a wellness check. In nature, tiny box turtles are no match for predators like raccoons. The John Ball Zoo in Grand Rapids noticed that at the current rate, they will be functionally extinct in the near future. That's why conservation manager Bill Flanagan is looking for ways to help save the species in Michigan by head starting.
Simply to take a vulnerable life stage, bring it into captivity, and raise it past that vulnerable life stage, and then release it back into the wild.
It could take some time, but with the help from Grand Valley State University and the Pierce Cedar Creek Institute, Flanagan hopes to eventually stabilize the population and make it self-sustainable in the future. An 18-year-old man allegedly impersonating a firefighter was arrested last week after responding to a fire in Livingston County. The man from Grand Blanc arriving at the scene of the fire in a personal car with emergency lights and a siren. Police officials say he also had a helmet, safety vest, and a radio. Firefighters on the scene and not allowed the man to help. He was charged with impersonating a firefighter plus using a scanner in the commission of a felony. Police say the man admitted to responding to fires in other counties as well. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 10:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. A winter storm watch will go into effect here Wednesday afternoon. We'll see mostly cloudy skies here for today, with temperatures holding rather steady. West winds around 15 to 25 miles per hour, gusting as high as 35. Tonight, a chance for some snow late, cloudy, and a low near 27. By Wednesday, a chance for snow early, then a chance for snow and freezing rain and sleet mixing here late. About an inch possible to accumulate, cloudy, high of 34. Wednesday night, an additional 1 to 2 inches of snowfall possible. Thursday, chance for snow, freezing rain, and sleet mixing at times. Cloudy skies, a high around 39 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 34.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
And indeed, Westside Decorating Center at 5789 State Street in Saginaw. As you can tell by the music, we're not in the studio. That belongs to the Kowalski brothers because we are here at Kryzak's house in Bay City. It's Fat Tuesday, or as the late Don Kryzak used to say, Polish Polka Palooza. Something along those lines anyway. But we're going to talk about that later on because we're going to start the hour talking about a pretty serious subject, one that's identified in a particular community in America. And to help us explain what this particular problem is and maybe some of its history, we have with us from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, Dr. Gina Lynem-Walker. And Dr. Walker, good morning to you, and thanks for being with us.
Hi, good morning, Art, and thanks for having us.
So we're going to talk a little bit about sickle cell. And, I mean, growing up, and I had many friends in the African-American community, and a couple of whom suffered from it. And I was always told by them that it was sort of unique to the African-American community. Is that true, and is it still true?
Oh, yes, Art, it is true. There are certain genetic diseases that are unique to certain communities. And sickle cell anemia is one of those diseases that is unique to the African-American community, although it can affect other communities as well. And it's a funny story about how sickle cell anemia may have come about because it's in areas that have a lot of malaria. So the scientific thinking is that the mutation occurred to help ward off malaria. But on the other hand, you get this abnormal hemoglobin, or part of our red blood cell.
Describe, for those of us that don't know, what is sickle cell anemia?
Well, sickle cell anemia is the most common inherited blood disorder in the United States, and it affects about 100,000 people in the United States and 20 million people worldwide. But sickle cell disease is caused by a change in the hemoglobin, which is a protein found in our red blood cell. And our red blood cell, of course, is a cell that helps to carry oxygen throughout our body. It's very important, as we all know. So people with sickle cell anemia have a misshapen part of the red blood cell, and that red blood cell gets kind of sticky and it gets stuck in the blood vessels. So that's what causes the problem.
Is it A, is it curable? B, is it fatal?
Well, it's not curable. You're born with it. You get the abnormal gene from both of your parents. So it's not curable, unfortunately, but it is treatable. In some cases, it can be fatal if it's not treated appropriately. But people with sickle cell anemia can live long and productive lives if they're treated appropriately.
You mentioned it's in the gene. With all the gene manipulation going on today and the gene research, is that on the horizon? I mean, do you think they'll find a way to maybe reverse the product itself?
Well, it's hard to say, Art. With science, they are working on studying sickle cell anemia, and hopefully one day they can do some gene modifications to help that out. But today, the treatment is with medication. There's a medication called hydroxyurea that is recommended, especially if people have what are called frequent pain crises, because the misshapen blood cell gets sticky in these blood vessels. It can cause extreme pain. It can also cause stroke in some people because you're not getting that oxygen. So there could be significant consequences from this disease, but they do have treatment. And as a matter of fact, they're saying there's a cure with a stem cell transplant. So in some people, that could be an option.
Something that the insurance companies will pay for?
Sure. Yep. Yep. If they qualify, if they're good candidates, then the insurance companies will pay for that.
So a youngster coming into the world inherits these genes.
Mhm.
How long before they actually see the symptoms of the disease?
Well, the good thing about this is that it can be picked up right away. As a matter of fact, when most children in the United States are born, there's a battery of blood screening tests that are done on all children, and so it can be picked up, early on, newborns, and once it's picked up, they can start treatment right away. So it's important, but symptoms may occur usually about at the age of 6 months. So that's when children start to exhibit symptoms.
You mentioned, what the thoughts of origination in malaria, which I assume, and that's a bad word, I know, but I can assume that the reason it targets the African American population is the fact that most malaria was found in that part of the world, in Africa and thereabouts, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Because in those areas, sub-Saharan Africa, even in areas like South Asia, some of the Mediterranean areas, Greeks and South Asians, and in Italy, even in those populations, people may have sickle cell anemia. That's why it's important to test all babies when they're newborn for sickle cell disease, because it affects primarily African Americans because of that reason. But there are also other areas of the world where malaria is endemic or where there's a lot of it. So those people have also developed the mutation. So
it would seem to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, please, but it would seem to me this is more of an environmental disease as opposed to a racially targeted disease. The racially targeted portion happens because the geographics of where these folks live caused it. Am I right on that?
yeah, you're right. It's not an environmental problem. It just so happened the mutation developed as a way to ward off malaria, which is, mosquitoes carry malaria. So those very warm areas are more endemic for malaria. So a mutation developed. It's not something that's targeted against Black people. It's just something that developed because of where they lived, or where we lived.
Is there enough research being done?
More and more. In the past, that wasn't the case, but it's being studied more. They're trying to develop cures, like I say, the stem cell transplant. New medications are being developed. There's something called L-glutamine, which is also a medication that can help with the pain crises. So it's been studied more and more. People are taking it more seriously. Historically, people's pain was not adequately managed because they thought people may have been malingering, but nowadays people are taking that more seriously and helping people with those significant pain crises.
All right, take a break, Doc, and we'll be back. We're talking to Dr. Gina from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan about sickle cell anemia, Dr. Gina Lynem-Walker. And we will return with her right after these notes here on the Art Lewis Show.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report. Walmart shares are lower. Though it reported strong sales for the holiday quarter, the company's predicting sales increases this year will be just 2.5% or lower. Walmart does say it's gaining market share in the grocery business, including among higher income households looking to save money, but sales of non-food items fell during the quarter. Home Depot is predicting its earnings will drop this year. The company reported an upbeat quarter, but it's being cautious about coming months. It's also investing $1 billion in wages, benefits, and training for its staff. United Airlines Holdings is launching a fund with a goal of producing sustainable aviation fuel. It's being funded with more than $100 million from the company and partners that include Air Canada, Boeing, and others. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
A good work partner knows what you need before you need it. That's how it feels when you work with Cintas. Your dedicated Cintas service reps get to know your business and have the industry knowledge that can help you prepare for what's ahead. They'll deliver your team's workwear freshly laundered. Make sure your first aid and safety supplies, mats, mops, and towels are stocked when you need them. And your fire extinguishers are inspected and in working order. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Moments like hearing my cat purr good morning mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib. Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
If you have an IRA or 401k, please listen closely. My name is Jason Hansen. I'm a former CIA officer and New York Times bestselling author. Throughout my career, let's just say I've been in some hairy situations. And I believe right now the biggest threat facing Americans is they need to protect their wealth, which is exactly what I'm doing for my wife and 6 kids. And I believe the ultimate safe haven is physical gold and silver. You can protect your hard-earned retirement assets with a tax-free loophole that allows you to convert your retirement into physical gold and silver. The folks I use are Advantage Gold, and believe me, I've investigated the heck out of all types of people. Advantage Gold is the nation's highest rated gold company. They have the best process,
run Terry if you
and
have him.
service. If you want to get your free gold and silver investment kit, please contact Advantage Gold right now, and you'll see how easy it is to protect yourself with precious metals. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Call 800-900-8000.
Morning, everyone. Broadcasting this morning from the Doubletree Hotel in downtown Bay City, where the 2023 Bean and Beet Symposium is going on. The trade show opened at 9 o'clock this morning, and this hour, Carl Bednarski, who's president of the Michigan Farm Bureau, addressing the group on what kind of conditions it is to be in agriculture here in Michigan. The Dry Bean and Beet Symposium and Trade Show has been held almost every year for the last 30 years. And it's sponsored by the Michigan Bean Commission, Sugar Beet Advancement, and MSU Extension. Dry bean growers are here. Sugar beet growers are here. It's going to be a busy, busy day. As I said, it kicked off here just a few minutes ago with Carl Bednarski. It'll go through the morning hours. There will be a box lunch and trade show going on about noon or so. And then the afternoon program will kick off with a dry bean market outlook. All a part of the Bean and Beet Symposium. Our broadcast today brought to you by the folks at Nutrient Ag Solutions. Back with more as we go through the hour.
All right, and we are back with you here at Krizak's for Punchki Day, Fat Tuesday. We're talking to Dr. Gina Lynem-Walker. We've been talking about sickle cell anemia in the African-American population. Are there other diseases that African Americans are more susceptible to? And I ask that because every time we hear stories about maybe high blood pressure and things of that nature, there seems to be a caveat that, it's more prevalent in certain communities. Are there other ailments that are unique or prevalent to African Americans?
Well, yes, Art, as you mentioned, high blood pressure or hypertension, diabetes may be more prevalent in African American communities. And those things are basically because of lifestyle, not exercising as much, eating more processed foods, high fat foods that are more readily available in certain urban areas.
I have to stop you because I was hoping you'd say that. Because what it demonstrates to me, doesn't matter the color of your skin. If you don't take care of your body's going to react. Basic, doesn't matter who you are, where you're from. There are certain things that are just across the board for everybody.
That's true, Art. As human beings, we have our differences, of course, but we're all, human. We all suffer from the same problems for the most part, except for certain genetic problems. But it's important for all of us to take care of ourselves, and eating the right foods, fruits and vegetables are very important. Eliminating boxed and canned foods. I say anything in a box or a can, just throw that away. Try to eat more fresh fruits and vegetables. Exercise is very important. You got to move. So those are important for everybody to understand.
And it's also important because the people that you're trying to teach those things to are the parents who have to teach them to their youngsters for the next generation. And we all go through that.
That's right. I remember when I have two kids and they're adults now, but they always wanted to go to McDonald's and, the fast food and things like that. So for the Happy Meal, but, as they got older, I tried to teach them, to incorporate more green leafy vegetables, have a salad, and now they're pretty much two healthy adults, and they're practicing a healthy lifestyle. So it's important to start young when your kids are very
young. How many decades to get that across?
Right. You don't.
I have a son, my younger son, and he's in his 50s, but my younger son told me when he was young that the only food he would ever consume was a hot dog.
Oh, no.
It's changed. Now he eats everything, and he eats.
Yeah.
Funny how youngsters get that in their mind, and nothing changes their mind.
Well, I'm glad his diet has changed because that's important.
Well, let's go back and finish up where we started with sickle cell anemia. If you look back through your career to today, have we made progress in maybe not eliminating, but reducing the impact?
Yes, it's something that you're not going to eliminate because it is a hereditary problem that's passed on from parent to child. But the important thing is that strides have been made to find a cure, to find adequate medication, and to treat people who have significant pain crises, infections, other consequences of sickle cell disease like stroke and other neurological problems. So great strides are being made. It's being studied more. And people, education is very important for everybody in every community. So the more that you're educated and that you know about something, the better you're able to help yourself. So
is there a website folks can go to get more information?
Well, I always point people to the CDC, Centers for Disease Control. That's an excellent website where you can find information. And then WWMIBluesperspectives.com And then there's a sickle cell anemia chapter in Michigan, and that number, let me just read it to you, is 313-864-4406. And people who want to get information on where to go to get treated, they can call that number.
Well, Doc, I always look forward to chatting with you. Thanks for spending some time with us today. We appreciate it.
Okay, thank you so much for having me.
Have a great day. Bye-bye now.
You too. Bye-bye.
Dr. Gina Lynem-Walker, and we thank her for joining us here on the Art Lewis Show from Krijak's house, where it's Punchki Day, Fat Tuesday. We're going to take a break, come back. We're going to talk to Major Rick Ray from the Bay City Salvation Army office, the Bay City Corps, and all of that is ahead here on WSGW.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. Do it for the love of money. Saturdays in February, 7 to 11 p.m. Winners choose $3,000 in premium play, $1,500 cash, or 1,500 entries into the February 25th drawing for a Chevy Camaro ZL1. For the love of money, $1,000 giveaway, only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway, reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
At Wildfire Credit Union, our team will tell you that everything we do is for our members because it's about you always.
Recently, I was working with a member to purchase an auto loan and saw an opportunity to help them save some money. By refinancing their credit card debt, we were able to save them over $600 a month. This is one of the many ways that we deliver outstanding service to our members.
Delivering marvelous experiences, saving members money, providing personalized service, going the extra mile. Wildfire Credit Union. It's what we do every day. Find out for yourself. Call 800-227-2328. Click on wildfirecu.org or come by any Wildfire location to experience banking the way it's supposed to be, where it's about you, always. Wildfire Credit Union. Distinctively better. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender. These are actual examples of savings and not guaranteed in every situation.
You have a family doctor. Do you have a family plumber? When you have a plumbing, heating, or cooling problem happen in your home or business, you need to be able to call a professional that you can rely on and trust to make the repair or equipment replacement. Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has been the professional homeowners and businesses trust for 65 years. Whether you're looking for an emergency water heater replacement or planning a new heating system installation, you can trust Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning to provide quality service and installation. Reamer has the equipment to fit every budget, experienced estimators, and state licensed technicians to install. Trust a professional to do the job right. Call Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Visit them on the web at reamerplumbing.com.
Any way you spell it, Reamer means quality.
Hey y'all, this is your girl Cheryl Underwood, and I want to tell you something. My digestive system used to make me feel sluggish, but those days are over. Now I feel great. That's because I increased my fiber intake with the Metamucil 2-week challenge, and I'm still hooked. I just took Metamucil every day for 14 days, and it's really that easy. Metamucil traps and removes the waste that weighs you down, so you feel lighter and more energetic. Now I never want to go back to that heavy feeling. Are you ready for the Metamucil 2-week challenge for a coupon and daily support? Sign up at Metamucil.com today.
Ew, the toilet sneeze. Every flush spews bacteria onto surfaces that little Bobby touches and then spreads to the light switch and everywhere else in the house. Yuck. So Dad uses Microban 24 to help stop the spread. It's the only sanitizing spray with a long-lasting shield that keeps killing 99.9% of bacteria on surfaces for up to 24 hours. Be confident you're protecting your family with Microban 24. Don't just sanitize it, Microban it.
Big features, big ink, big savings. That's what you get when you buy an HP printer at Staples. Like the HP Smart Tank 7301. You can connect, work, and boost your productivity. The HP Smart Tank delivers seamless printing and quality color documents at a low cost. Plus, you get 2 years of ink right out of the box. And now, for a limited time, save $90 on the HP Smart Tank 7301 at Staples. For the best deals on a huge selection of HP printers, go to Staples. Offer good in-store and online. Ends 2/25.
thank you for being with 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
And we are back with you here at Krishak's House Family Restaurant on Michigan in the south end of Bay City, where it's Portuguese Day, and they're going through about 1,000 dozens of them. I have only had one. Major Rick Ray from the Salvation Army in Bay City is with me. How many have you had?
I have had 2 here, and I sent a dozen back to the office.
Yeah, somebody from the station came up and picked them up here. So this is a good day for you, isn't it?
It is. It's fun to be out, just to see the excitement and the people coming out to the restaurant. And Donnie started this 24 years ago. He was a board member for the Salvation Army, and he saw we were serving people in the kitchen. He had a restaurant, so he merged. He said, I can help you out this way. I'll do a fundraiser.
Have you been the beneficiary all 24 years?
I believe so.
Yeah.
That was way before my
before
time.
your time.
Yep, I've been here 6 years, but I believe he did it as a fundraiser to support our Matthew 25 Cafe.
All right, we're going to get personal.
Okay.
Why the Salvation Army? What was it that took a young Rick Ray and pointed him in the direction of the Salvation Army?
Well, that's a really fun story. Grew up in Dubuque, Iowa, and my parents worked Monday through Saturday, and Sunday was their day of rest. And they always told us that in the 70s you were safe. They said if someone kidnapped their kids, they'd bring them back and they'd charge them to return them. But it was all of a sudden one day we were out in the yard, and it was Vacation Bible School. My mother said, and we didn't know who it was. This van shows up, and the driver says, "Do you guys want to come with us?" And we started climbing in his van. We didn't know who it was or where we were going, but it wasn't in our yard. And he says, "I need to go let your parents know." I was like, "No, you don't. You're okay. We'll just bring us back home." And so that's how it started there.
So wait, your parents did not know?
No, they knew. They asked. And
okay.
He knocked on the door, and my mom,
All right.
we're so much in trouble. And he said, "Okay, you can come." And that's how it started. 1973. Started in the Salvation Army.
Did it happen to be a Salvation Army church? Is that what it was?
Yeah. We didn't know where it was. And I believe I was 8 years old. My brother was 9 and my 2 sisters, and that's how it started.
All right, so it's one thing to be an 8-year-old and be driven to a church for the first time, and all of a sudden you're there. It's another to make a career out of it.
Yeah.
What's the transition here?
Well, the transition, we fast forward. I got to the age of 13, too young to work anywhere else, but the divisional youth leader, we call him, who's in charge of the whole district, I got hired at the summer camp as a dishwasher. Didn't even apply. Well, what happened is one of my core officers, Carmela McPherson, filled out the application. And I got hired at camp. I worked at the summer camp for 8 years. And after that, it was at the age of 17. I knew that I was saved. I knew who Jesus was. I knew about salvation, but I was happy.
So you were already practicing.
Yeah, I was happy being a dishwasher, and those convictions that the Lord says you got something to do, and it's like, no, I'm happy here. And my testimony is this: 2:30 in the morning, the 17-year-old kid at camp went down to the chapel. I was trying to get my way out of it. There's no one up at 2:30 in the morning, so I went in the chapel, turned a little closet light on, and I said, "Okay, Lord, if you want me to be a minister, you send someone in this room to pray with me." Sat there for 5 minutes, and the door opened to the sanctuary. Our Major Dennis Phillips, the divisional leader, his camp trailer was right behind the dining room or the chapel, and he thought the closet was on fire because he saw this glowing light. And he saw me there. He walked up and he says, "Rick, what can I do?" I say, "I guess you've already done it. I have to be a minister." And that's how it started.
It's an amazing story.
So you just have to, God will, you don't mess with him. Don't struggle with him. He's telling you to do something. You just do it because you'll end up doing it anyways.
So explain to me, as an outsider to all of this.
Okay.
My understanding, and I could have wrong understandings about this too, but my understanding is that you marry and your wife also has to be included in the ministry. Is that right?
They believe the Salvation Army, it's easier. You can be a Salvation Army officer, minister, as a single, but it's a lot harder because of all the work you do.
But if you're married, you can't be one and your wife is not. Is that right?
Yeah, you have to. It has to be a God thing. They both have to have the calling to go because it's hard to run a church when someone doesn't believe in Christ and someone does. You're going to have a storm.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that believe in Christ, but they don't want to be ministers. They don't come into the building as a minister. They're just a parishioner.
Yeah.
But the wife has to be
ordained.
Ordained.
We're both ordained. We go to a seminary school. It's in Chicago. Best part is it's 6 blocks from Wrigley Field. So on our time off, we could go to a baseball game. But it's a 22-month seminary school. You live there. I say you live there, you breathe there, and sometimes you feel like you're dying there. But then you come out ordained and you're put into an appointment somewhere to run that Salvation Army.
Why was it established as an army?
Well, the story is our founder, William Booth, they were actually Methodist ministers in the Methodist Church in London in the mid-1880s. And he asked the church leaders if he could go to take his church evangelism to the street, to the harlot people, to the homeless, to the drunks, to the prostitutes. Those are the ones who need to be in church as well. And they told him no. Well, he said he left the church and he went out and did the Lord's work and he did the missionaries there. His goal was to introduce them to Christ, get them saved, and get them in the church, not to be with him. They went to the church, but they still weren't accepted because the church knew who these people were. They went back to William and Catherine Booth on the street, evangelism. And their congregation was growing. They would use movie theaters weren't open on Sundays, grocery stores. They used whatever building they could borrow for their services. And in short, the way they came with the name, they were sitting and talking. He says, "We have become a large army." And he saw how the British government ran. They had one general, and he oversaw the whole military. And you could recognize a British army person with their uniform. You didn't have to ask them.
Right.
And he saw the respect they got. So he adapted that uniform. That's all it is it's just a expression of our faith to show us who we are. It's our cloak, I guess. Some churches have robes. We have a uniform. And then one day we were sitting around. They were sitting down, him and Catherine, and he wrote, "I'm an Army of Salvation." And she said, "William, your priority is salvation. You're the Salvation Army." And then the ranking, it just means years of service. He saw there was a general, he had lieutenants, and he had captains, and he had major. So the years of service became the ranking.
So if Booth were alive today, would he recognize it?
Yeah, there's changes. Sometimes I wonder about it. It's still, I believe we are still the Salvation Army. We still have the foundation of what he started, because it's really salvation's a priority. Then in one of their services, where we got into social services, he was preaching and he noticed people were sleeping. You could hear their stomachs growling. They weren't looking very clean. And Catherine, his wife, was a wonderful thinker. She came up with the idea, William, soup, soap, then the salvation. Clean them up, feed them up, and then you have room to preach the gospel to them. Take care of their stumbling blocks.
Was she then the beginning of this notion of husband and wife?
Yes. Yeah. It was a team ministry. They saw it was a lot of work. And then they would do, for instruments, they would take tambourines and a bass drum for the music. And that's how their street music became on. Any brass instrument, because it's easier to carry a horn than push a piano.
I've told you this before. I mean, the Salvation Army, the musical corps out of Chicago is phenomenal.
Yes.
In the Bronx, where I grew up, the 4 or 5 on the street, not so much.
Yeah.
They used to be there with the kettle, playing their music, and I used to put money in, hoping they'd stop.
Well, I was one of those in Chicago. We played. We
have an orchestra. It's fabulous.
Yeah. While we were seminary students, we had to go out during Christmas, and we were actually, one of the sites was the Watchtower, downtown Chicago.
Sure.
And we had a 4-piece band and playing, and I will never forget this. We were playing pretty good, we thought. Some guy came up, put $20 in there and said, "Now stop playing." Okay, so we quit. And then a lady came up behind him, puts 40 in, says, "Now play." So we started. So
you'd be there all day.
Yeah. So, but playing an instrument in Chicago, we may not. Lord tells us it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to make a joyful noise unto the Lord.
And what was the reason for the music?
To draw attention.
Just to draw attention.
Draw
That's
attention.
all, right?
Yep, that was it. The same with the ringing of the bell. And
that I knew. I've done that. Been there, done that.
Yep.
A little Jewish kid from the Bronx rings the bell pretty well. I got good rhythm. We're going to take a break. Come back. We're talking to Major Rick Ray from the Bay City Corps of the Salvation Army. Take a break. We'll also hear from Terry Henney, who's out and about at the Bean and Beat Expo over at the Doubletree. All of that is ahead here on WSGW.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Your home is your haven, and energy-efficient window treatments can make it feel even more comfortable throughout the year. Hi, this is Mary Ann from Warden Interiors in Frankenmuth. Now through April 10th, you can save big with generous rebates on energy-efficient shades that help keep your home cool in the summer and warm during winter. Don't wait to shop the Hunter Douglas Energy Smart Style Savings event going on now. Warden Interiors in Frankenmuth celebrating over 60 years in business. We'll help you bring it all together.
It's Jesse Kelly here. I can't afford to lose 30% of my 401k or IRA again, and I'm assuming you can't either. Call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick your precious metals. That's it. You now own precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today to learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan. 833-404-GOLD, 833-404-GOLD.
I'm Rocky Moselle with StarRegistry.com. Since we were children, we've been told to reach for the stars. It was great advice. Now it's a great gift. Name a star after someone. For $54 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com, we will name a star after someone very special to you and send an incredible personalized gift. The new star name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Call the Star Registry, 800-282-3333, or visit StarRegistry.com for the hottest gift.
Detroit Tigers baseball is back on WSGW.
Watch it fly! Gone!
The first preseason game broadcast is Saturday, February 25th at 1 p.m. Then you can listen throughout March for select spring training games leading up to opening day on March 30th. Track the Tigers all season long on the Tigers page online at WSGW.com. For 56 years, it's Detroit Tigers baseball on WSGW.
We're at the Doubletree this morning after a Punchki-filled morning, decided to get down to business. Doubletree, where the Beat and Bean Symposium is going on right now. Featured speaker this hour is Carl Benarski with the Michigan Farm Bureau. He's the president. Good morning, Carl.
Good morning, Terry. Great to see you.
Great to see you. You've been busy these days.
Well, yes, I have. And it's been quite a busy winter this year, and COVID's passed us, and it's time to move forward and look out for agriculture's interest, because there's always something that needs to be addressed out there.
And you're going to be talking to producers this morning about agriculture here in Michigan and what it's like to be involved.
Well, right now, agriculture is a great time to be involved. I mean, there's a lot of great things happening We're making some money out there. Sure, we have our downfalls with inputs and those types of things, but what we're looking at in yields and technology and crop prices, we've got a lot of great things happening right now, and especially in Michigan in this area with our diverse agriculture.
And it's really important that our producers and a lot of people in general get involved a little bit, especially over the next 12 months with that farm bill coming around.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And they want to wrap that farm bill up by the end of the year. So, yes, we're going to look at members. We're going to look at agriculture producers that need to reach out to those legislators and tell them how important that farm bill is. And, yes, that nutrition part of it needs to stay with the farm bill.
Carl Bednarski, take care.
Okay, thank you, Terry. Appreciate it always.
Bet. Carl Bednarski, president of the Michigan Farm Bureau. We'll be back with more as we go through the morning and, of course, farm program at 11:30.
All right, Terry Henney, who is cross town. He's over at the Doubletree for the Bean and Beat Expo. We are at Krejak's house. Good to hear the music in the background here. There you go. Kowalski Brothers Band. And we are chatting with Major Rick Ray from the Salvation Army, the Bay City Corps, the recipients of financial aid from this, and has been since day one, 24 years ago. So tell us, Rick, about the services offered by the Bay City Corps.
Well, the Bay City Corps, we have a regular food pantry, and it's a 30-day pantry. They can come in Monday through Friday. If there's emergency need, we'll provide food that we have for them for the pantry to take home to prepare. We have a baby pantry for people with newborns, or if they need something, if we have it, we'll provide for them. We have a diaper pantry as well. We do have formula, and if there's been that formula shortage, we've been very fortunate that I have people that can give me what I need. The Lord provides resources for us, so very, very blessed with that. But that costs money to get that formula, and that formula is twice as much as eggs. So it costs. People can't afford that. Some of the families. We have also a regular Matthew 25 Cafe that I shared earlier. That runs Monday through Saturday, and we have only a full-time kitchen staff, one cook, and then it's all volunteers. So we could use volunteers. Right now, it was good to have volunteers during COVID, but then COVID went away. I think people got exhausted, and now volunteers are scarce like toilet paper.
Oh yeah. So let's talk for a minute about the other side of this, and that is that the Salvation Army, in its in its core, is a religious organization.
Yes.
And as such, you are a church.
Yes.
So
correct.
Tell us about services. How often?
We have services every Sunday. We have a Bible study on Wednesday evenings. At 6 p.m. is Wednesday evenings. And Sunday service, we have Sunday school at 10 a.m. and then our worship service at 11. Tuesdays in the morning at 10 o'clock, my wife does women's ministry. There's an opportunity to minister with women. If you have nothing to do, it's from 10 to 11. Sometimes they stay till 12. And that's just a fellowship time for ladies. And then Tuesday nights from 4:30 to 7 or so, it's your youth programs, character building for kids from first grade all the way through 12.
When do you sleep? Just thought I'd ask.
Yeah. We get time.
So, is it congregational? And by that I mean, is it a floating audience that comes and goes, or do you have a core group of parishioners like every other church?
We do get transient congregation members that they come in on and off. Some of them are from our lunch program. They come on Sunday because in their circumstance they forget that the Matthew 25 is not open, so they stay for the service. We do have a steady congregation of about 25 to 30, so it's a small group. But we have room for up to 200 in our sanctuary.
Where is the sanctuary located?
It is right there on our building, 401 10th Street. So every one of our services are all in one facility.
Including the cafe?
Yes, the cafe is there. Matthew 25 is there in one section of the church. The chapel's another part, and then social service is the third part.
And are there hours, normal hours during the week?
Business hours, yes.
Business hours?
Our regular business hours are from 9 a.m. We're there till 5, but we close the doors at 3, so our caseworker will have time to do our case files and close out for the day.
All right. So we're going to end with this. Can people make donations?
Yes. We would love people to make donations. They can send monetary donations through the mail, 401 10th Street. They earmark it whatever where they want to put it too. In the memo, if they wanted to go to Matthew 25, they just put it there. If they wanted to go to social services, to help utility, to help rent, to help with the pantry, whatever they mark it, it will stay and be used for that service.
All right. Well, this is always fun, and being here is a blessing for you guys.
I did forget about summer camp programs too.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We have summer camp. We actually they're starting online. Everything's online, so they can go and check out our Echo Grove camp. Salvation Army District has its own camp. It's down by Lapeer. And we send kids to week for a camp. So parents, if you want to break from your kids, if you want to break from your parents, you get a vacation at Echo Grove.
Now
camp.
we're talking salvation.
Yeah. And the best part is, because of the money we get from here, because of the money in our red kettles, we only say $10 a week.
Oh, wow.
To send a kid to camp.
Major, as always, got to go for time here, but it's a pleasure.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for your service.
I would love to tell a joke. I got it.
10 seconds.
10 seconds. Now you got me on the spot. I tried cooking a gator. I did. I had a crock pot.
I knew it was coming. Bye. Bye. We'll be back to close out after these notes.
Hello, this is Joe Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is a firm that practices family law exclusively. We focus on only one area of the law to maximize our strength and effectiveness as advocates for clients that have everything on the line: their homes, retirement, savings, and most importantly, their children. We're the partner our clients count on. If we can be of help to you, give us a call.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
If you have an IRA or 401k, please listen closely. My name is Jason Hansen. I'm a former CIA officer and New York Times bestselling author. Throughout my career, let's just say I've been in some hairy situations. And I believe right now the biggest threat facing Americans is they need to protect their wealth, which is exactly what I'm doing for my wife and 6 kids. And I believe the ultimate safe haven is physical gold and silver. You can protect your hard-earned retirement assets with a tax-free loophole that allows you to convert your retirement into physical gold and silver. The folks I use are Advantage Gold, and believe me, I've investigated the heck out of all types of people. Advantage Gold is the nation's highest rated gold company. They have the best process, pricing, and service. If you want to get your free gold and silver investment kit, please contact Advantage Gold right now, and you'll see how easy it is to protect yourself with precious metals. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Call 800-900-8000.
All right, we'll be back on Focus, and we'll be talking to Rachel from the SVRC Marketplace. That will be coming up right after the news.
Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Steel.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. The Supreme Court has just begun hearing arguments in a case that pits Google against the parents of a college exchange student. killed in a terrorist attack at a cafe in Paris in 2015. Noemi Gonzalez's mother and stepfather say the company's YouTube service acted as a recruiting platform for ISIS. The family's attorney, Reynaldo Gonzalez.
What we're saying is that insofar as they were encouraging people to go look at things, that's what's outside the protection of the statute. Not that the stuff was there. If they stopped recommending things tomorrow and all sorts of horrible stuff was on their website, as far as we read the statute, they're fine.
Correspondent Jan Crawford has more.
Social media companies say a 1996 federal law shields them from liability, and that the modern internet would not exist if companies couldn't sort and recommend third-party content to users. Free speech advocates say social media companies have rights similar to newspapers deciding what articles to publish.
President Biden is set to speak in Poland in half an hour. It comes a day after he made a surprise visit to Ukraine to pledge continued U.S. support for the almost one-year-old war with Russia. Correspondent Stephen Portnoy is traveling with the president.
Aides say the president's speech from the royal castle here in the Polish capital will have Mr. Biden reiterating that America will stand with Ukraine for as long as it takes. Dan Fried once served as U.S. ambassador to Poland.
He needs to push back against the persistent notion that Ukraine's cause is lost.
The president's speech here comes hours after Vladimir Putin blamed the West for the war and announced he would suspend Russia's participation in the New START arms reduction treaty, which has kept a limit on nuclear warheads and ICBMs. Stephen Portnoy, CBS News, Warsaw.
The Wall Street Journal reports Chinese leader Xi Jinping is planning to visit Moscow for a summit with President Putin. A massive winter storm's about to make its way from the west coast to the east and bring with it blizzard conditions and ice. Meteorologist Stephanie Abrams checks in from the Weather Channel.
It starts to crank today. Winds at the higher elevations gusting to 75 miles an hour. It continues into Thursday, and travel could be downright impossible with blowing snow, drifting snow, and also whiteout conditions.
22 states are under weather alerts. The forecast calls for partly cloudy skies and a high of 78 today in New Orleans for the culmination of Mardi Gras. This is Fat Tuesday. It's the last hurrah before Lent begins tomorrow. Dow's way down. It's off 478 points right now. S&P down 58. This is CBS News.
Find tools for the job site or your own backyard at over 10,000 authorized local steel dealers. Find yours at steelusa.com, STIHLUSA.com.
Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler, host of the Money Pit Home Improvement Show. If you think you need a new roof, think again. You can avoid replacement and save thousands with RoofMax, the world's first roof rejuvenation treatment. RoofMax is a safe, easy, and affordable alternative to costly asphalt roof replacement, and it's guaranteed. So don't replace RoofMax.
RoofMax, a safe, easy, proven, affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. Call Ben today at 859-6751 or go to GetRoofMax.com for a free quote.
Your local Zematic dealer works hard to give you every advantage when it comes to your irrigation operations. This year, we're giving you a head start in preparing for the upcoming season by letting you choose between industry-leading interest rates and deep per-tower discounts on a new Zematic pivot. The earlier you act, the better your deal will be. Better deals, better equipment, better season. Better contact your local Zematic dealer today to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. See your local dealer or visit lindsay.com/spring sale for full details.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do. But you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh & Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Why do I like to work at Alpha Media Saginaw? Endless opportunities.
Fun work environment.
Flexible schedules. Alpha Media Saginaw is expanding their marketing department and looking for the right team player to continue to help local businesses grow through on-air and digital campaigns. We offer flexible schedules, full benefits, and paid holidays. If you have a passion for sales and love building relationships in the community, contact General Sales Manager Carrie Gustafson at 989-752-3456 or apply online at alphamediausa.com/careers.
Alpha Media is an EEO employer.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 33 degrees at 11:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. A garbage truck driver died in a crash in Genesee County Monday. Police say the crash occurred at Dort Highway and Stanley Road in Genesee Township around 6:30 a.m. when the northbound trash truck crossed the center line into oncoming traffic, striking a Jeep Wrangler before hitting a utility pole. Police say the 56-year-old driver may have suffered a medical emergency prior to the crash. He died at the scene. The Jeep driver suffered non-life-threatening injuries and was taken to Hurley Medical Center in Flint. According to the Bay City Department of Public Safety, the infrastructure of all Bay City fire stations need attention. Fire Chief Kurt Corradi presented each issue in detail at Monday evening's Bay City Commission meeting. Commission members questioned why American Rescue Plan Act or ARPA funds were not used for the undertaking. Chief Karate showed the council images from broken windows and falling ceilings due to old roofing issues. He also reports the overall cost is a ballpark figure of $3.5 to $4 million. The Bay City Commission responded by asking for a proposal with clear amounts and a timeline. The city of Saginaw may soon start the process to sell an historic apartment building. The former Jefferson Apartments, nearly 100-year-old building owned by the city, may be rehabilitated and sold, which will be a boost for the city. Saginaw Mayor Brenda Moore says it's an opportunity to move the city forward. The sale is expected to take around 3 months. The Michigan Department of Transportation and local road commissions have enacted spring weight restrictions, also known as frost laws, an annual effort to help protect paved roads. All state trunk lines in mid-Michigan now have weight restrictions. According to MDOT, winter freeze-thaw cycles contribute to pothole problems, and during the thaw, those issues increase. The restrictions are meant to slow the deterioration of the roads. WSGW News Time, 11:07.
At Wildfire Credit Union, our team will tell you that everything we do is for our members, because it's about you, always.
One of my wildfire coworkers contacted me after 5 p.m. one day. She was working with a member in a rush to meet with the seller of a vehicle she wanted to purchase. I double-checked her loan application right then. I emailed it out to her while she was on her way to the branch so that she could sign electronically. We had her check ready for her when she arrived by 6 p.m. Teamwork makes the dream work. For our member, the dream was finding a car, applying for a loan, and buying it in one day. And the Wildfire team made it work.
Saving members money, providing personalized service, going the extra mile. That's Wildfire Credit Union. Find out for yourself. Call, click, or come by any Wildfire location to experience banking the way it's supposed to be, where it's about you, always. Wildfire Credit Union. Distinctively better. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
WSGW News Time, 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. 19 Democrats and 1 Republican in the Michigan House. The Republican Representative John Roth introduced a bill last Tuesday to allow homeless or runaway youth access to health care without parental consent, and to allow healthcare providers to treat homeless or runaway youth without parental consent. As it stands, minors have the right under state law to consent to minimal health care services without the involvement of a parent or guardian, including emergency care and health care services related to sexual health, mental health, and substance abuse treatment, as well as care for emancipated minors. Several groups are calling for change as they gathered near the state capitol yesterday following the shooting on the campus of Michigan State University, which left 3 students dead and 5 others injured. Michigan News Network's John Hewitt has this report from Lansing.
What we're doing right now is the country is not working.
David Hogg, one of the survivors of the Parkland, Florida shootings back in 2018, who has gone on to advocate nationally for gun reform as part of a group known as March for Our Lives, made an appearance at a rally in Lansing today, along with MSU students and members of the Michigan Education Association. Hogg saying he is tired of having to speak following tragedies like the one last week on the campus of Michigan State University.
Every single student in America is exhausted. Every single parent in our country is exhausted, not just because of the shootings that happen at places like MSU, at Parkland, at Oxford, but by the fact that what happened at MSU, what happened at Parkland in the form of individual shootings happens every single day, multiple times a day in our country, and it does not get the attention that it deserves.
Ironically, last week's shootings at Michigan State came literally one day before the 5-year anniversary of the shootings at Parkland, Florida.
WSGW News Time, 11:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. A winter storm watch will go into effect here Wednesday afternoon. We'll see mostly cloudy skies here for today, with temperatures holding rather steady. West winds around 15 to 25 miles per hour, gusting as high as 35. Tonight, a chance for some snow late, cloudy, and a low near 27. By Wednesday, a chance for snow early, then a chance for snow and freezing rain and sleet mixing here late. About an inch possible to accumulate, cloudy, high of 34. Wednesday night, an additional 1 to 2 inches of snowfall possible. Thursday, chance for snow, freezing rain, and sleet mixing at times. Cloudy skies, a high around 39 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 32.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com. Focus is presented by RoofMax. That's RoofMax with 2 X's.
And indeed, you can find out more about RoofMax online, and you can do that by going to getroofmax.com. That's RoofMax with 2 X's. And we are here at Krizak's House Family Restaurant in Bay City because it is Punchki Day, Fat Tuesday, and it's an annual event. 24th year we've been here. It's the 24th year of the event. Next year, a significant milestone, 25 years that they're planning. And it's all a fundraiser for the benefit of the Salvation Army. Heard Major Rick Ray earlier talking about it. So come on out. They still have some punchkis. They went through about 1,000 dozen of them. And boy, are they good. They're too good. I don't know how many calories. I don't want to know how many calories. Anyway, we were going to be talking with Rachel from the SVRC Marketplace this morning. So if she gets with us, we will have that conversation. Of course, the Marketplace is open Wednesday through Saturday. Always something going on down there. Lots of new restaurants and businesses, and it's a fun place to walk through and help out these young entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs that are, investing their time and treasure into Saginaw, which is a good thing, an absolute good thing. So in the meantime, we'll just tell you what's going on here. Krizak's, of course, they've been around for a long, long time, but the celebration that goes on today, the Punchki Polka Palooza party, as the late Don Krizak said, started 24 years ago. And the reason, as we heard Rick Ray say earlier, was that Don wanted a way to raise money for the Salvation Army. He was on the Salvation Army board, and he wanted to raise funds to help out the Salvation Army. So he came up with this idea of punchkis and the Polish Punchki Polka Palooza party, and it took off from there. First year was smaller. Now hundreds and hundreds of people come through this restaurant on Punchki Day. Today, Fat Tuesday. The line is from 5 o'clock in the morning on. There is always a line waiting to pick up their punchkis if they ordered them ahead or pick up punchkis. Hundreds and hundreds of people, and then hundreds of people in the restaurant having breakfast buffet, listening to the music. And this morning, the music provided by the Kowalski Brothers Band. And they're just taking a break right now, which is why it's relatively quiet in here. I would imagine in a little while we will get back to the music, and then things go on here till probably. Donnie Krizak said he expected they'll be out of punchkis by 2 o'clock. It might even be sooner. So if you want to get some, I'd suggest you come now, so that you can take advantage of all of those wonderful calories that are made with the real lard. Put that headset on and introduce yourself to the world. Go ahead.
We're good now, ain't we? You can hear me. Good.
Tell everybody who you are.
Well, my name is Keith Preeter, and I'm in charge of the Kowalski Brothers Polka Band, and we're the house band for Krejaks, and we've been doing this now since 2015. So what is that, 8 years we've been doing that? The older guys all quit.
About a third of how old this is. So, yeah, they've been doing this about 24 years.
Yeah.
And some of the guys in your group were in the older groups, too. I mean, that have come and gone, haven't they?
Yeah. There was like Ron Novacek and Benny Prell and all them guys, but they got older and they decided they didn't want to do it no more. So, of course, Donnie's dad kind of went bye-bye. So then Donnie kind of took it over, and we were kind of his band, so we kind of got squeezed in here. But we had some nice guys here today. We had Stanley Kowalski and Steve Javitsky. I mean, and Mark Gagarchek.
Javitsky's got his own group.
Yeah, he's got his own group, but he's helping me out today because I had a stint put in a week ago, and I can't play.
Oh, Keith,
that's
really?
why I'm. Yeah, that's
why you're walking around.
That's why I'm walking
socializing.
around doing nothing because I'm on sick leave, and if I work, they won't pay me. No, but yeah, that's what it is. I had a stint put in. I had my heart, one of my
arteries,
90%, and I could just feel it that there was something the matter. And good thing I listened to your show about you had that heart doctor lady not too long ago. So, but anyways, yeah, that's why I'm walking around. But I'm still doing stuff. I'm just not doing that. I can't drum today. And I'm fortunate Steve stepped up and he's helping us. And he played for me Sunday, and I got another job on Sunday, and he's going to do it for me again. So,
what's the popularity of polka music in this region? It's unbelievable.
Well, I think what it is it's happy music. I just talked to a couple of guys today, and a couple of them are from the Saginaw Bay Yacht Club, and they're going to try to get us out there because they said they're younger guys, and they said we need some energy. Well, this music is energy. I know everybody doesn't like polka music, but I like it. And like I said, I don't even have to play it. I enjoy it. I play it all the time in my house. But there's people that come. We had people on Sunday come all the way from Port Huron, Michigan, Sterling Heights. There's no polkas in Bay City's got it yet.
This is a hotbed.
And there's another spot, Grand Rapids still has it lit too. But otherwise than that, but we promote over here. Yeah. A lot of them aren't promoting no more because they keep telling me it's dead. It's not dead. You just have to advertise, and that's what you do. You need
Funny thing about that, Keith.
you have to advertise stuff, and it works.
Yeah.
You have to let the people know, and they'll come.
Well, we're glad you're here. It makes it every time. It makes it fun.
Yeah, we try to, and even Donnie walks around and talks to people.
Yep,
people like
does.
this, and that's good. He's starting to do that now, and that's great. So
good to see you.
Okay,
we got to take a break, and when we come back, we'll also hear from Terry Henney, who's across town at the Bean and Beat Expo. All of that is ahead after these notes.
Hi, it's Steve Mann. Have you heard the commercials for the Mark Patrick Stop Smoking seminars? And they said only $49.99 and it could work for you. So I thought, that's not even a week's worth of smoking. So I went. And guess what? It did work for me. My friends and family are still amazed. I quit smoking. I didn't have cravings, anxiety, or weight gain. Listen, I don't know how it works, but I know it works because I'm living proof and it's 100% guaranteed. So what do you got to lose? I'll tell you what you got to lose. A very bad habit.
Join Mark Patrick Seminar now without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Only $49.99 guaranteed. Hypnosis designed to work without anxiety, irritability, or weight gain. For only $49.99, become a non-smoker. That's right. Seminar Saturday, March 4th at the Bay Valley Resort and Conference Center in Bay City. Stop Smoking Seminar at 2 p.m. Weight Loss Seminar, 11 a.m. PatrickSeminars.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is from Sungyi Fitness in Saginaw. You're going to get half off of a 1-year adult VIP membership. That's with famous fitness classes and programs packed with club amenities. Enjoy the energetic atmosphere at Sungyi Saginaw your fitness goals off one by one. This deal is for new members only. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com. There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
The WSGW Morning Team. The WSW Online poll about the Fair Tax Act of 2023. There's a faction of House Republicans introducing the decades-old idea of the Fair Tax Act. The bill outlines a 23% use tax, though some analysts believe it's going to be closer to 30%. Would replace both payroll and income taxes. Supporters even say in the future the IRS could be eliminated because the bill would cut off funding in the future for the IRS. We do remember that former Michigan Congressman Dave Kemp did hold a fair tax hearing years ago, but never went anywhere. Some Republicans say that Speaker McCarthy actually said he was going to bring it to a vote.
Part of the agreement on getting the votes so he could become Speaker.
So would you vote yes or no on this Fair Tax 2023 bill? We'll give you yes. We'll give you no on this bill, though you support the overall idea of a use tax. Or no on this bill and you don't support the use tax at all. Or the popular, I'm not sure. You can make your votes by going to WSW.com. Scroll down the homepage. Look for the poll box and make your vote that way.
Your morning team. Charlie, Denise, 7 to 9 on WSGW.
Symposium at the Doubletree in Bay City. Along with me is Rob Gerstenberger from Beta Seed. Rob, wonderful meeting set up for today. A lot of sessions.
Oh, yeah. It looks like it's going to be a great meeting. It's good to see the growers out and probably a lot to learn for the growers.
Well, a lot to learn, especially when you take a look at the hybrids and some of the things that have come along just within the last, 3-4 years?
That's right. Yeah, Beta Seed, we now have the CR Plus varieties, which have been big. We've helped cut their fungicide spraying in half with the CR Plus varieties. Plus, they also give us the best yields. So it's our elite varieties with some of the best yields. And we're also bringing the high sugar CR Plus varieties now.
And it's nice that our growers, it looks like they're going to have a pretty profitable year.
Well, I hope so. So far, the weather seems to be good, and I haven't heard of any storage issues, so that's all positive as we move forward into spring.
Just an idea of all the different things that you can see here at the symposium. Goes until about 3:30 this afternoon, and then they have a social hour. So if you're still not here at the Doubletree or close to, come on over and take a look. Very interesting meetings and a lot of great people to talk to. Farm program coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Terry, and we are back here at Krishak's house, 1605 Michigan, at the south end of Bay City. Punchki Day, Fat Tuesday, in progress, and they still have some punchkis out front. There's still a line waiting to buy them. But if you want some, you better come out and do it quickly today. Heard Keith talk about the band, the Kowalski Brothers Band. And also mentioned Steve Dravishki, who has a band. And some of the guys that play in this band play in Dravishki's band. They get around and they all love the music. I mean, polka music is infectious. Even people that don't like it have to tap their feet when they hear it because it's just, it really is. People were having a great time here. They were all, we had dancing this morning, lots of it, because they rearranged the main dining room. They moved the band over farther to the right and opened up a space in the middle for dancing, and people were taking advantage of it. And I mean, this was going on since 5 o'clock this morning. This didn't happen just 5 minutes ago. I mean, it's been going on since 5 o'clock, and the band will probably play till, I don't know, maybe 1 o'clock or so. Donnie Krishak said they'll probably run out of punchkis about 2 o'clock. 1,000 dozen. And calorie-wise, I mean, they're pushing 1,000 calories because these are made in the traditional way. That is, they use lard. They do it exactly as the old country punchkis were made. And they were full of lard and things just aren't good for you, but who cares? And they have about 7 different flavors, everything from custard and blueberry and strawberry and cherry and jelly and you name it. And they'll have it here. But again, the supply begins to run low because they're reaching the end. So come on down if you want some. 1605 Michigan, Bay City, South End, Krijak's House, family restaurant. We thank Donnie Krijak and the gang here for their hospitality this morning, as it is every year. This is the 24th year we've been doing this, and I want to be here for 25, I'll tell you, because it's going to be a real shindig. All right, we're going to take our last break, and then we will be back to close out after these messages.
At Wildfire Credit Union, our team will tell you that everything we do is for our members because it's about you always.
I had a member who had received an email that a reputable company that she works with was going to take a large amount of money out of her account. She was panicked and upset, and I walked her through what she needed to do, told her the exact steps to do, and that I would keep an eye on her account. So she followed all of my instructions to the letter. And then the company that charged her account was aware that it was a scam, and they gladly and apologetically assured her that everything would be just fine and the money would not come out of her account. So she was very grateful.
Saving members money, providing personalized service, going the extra mile. That's Wildfire Credit Union. Find out for yourself. Call, click, or come by any Wildfire location to experience banking the way it's supposed to be, where it's about you always. Wildfire Credit Union. Distinctively better. Member NCUA Equal Housing Lender.
If you have ever thought about remodeling your bathroom but were worried it would take too long or cost too much, then stop worrying. Right now, Jacuzzi Bath Remodel has designed a collection of high-quality custom products and perfected the one-day remodeling experience so you can enjoy your new bathroom faster than ever before. It's a worry-free bath remodel from the most trusted brand name in the business, Jacuzzi. For a virtual or in-home appointment, call 800-826-9895. That's 800-826-9895. 800-826-9895.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. Divorce can be complicated, especially if children are involved. If you're a father and want to protect your role in your children's lives, remember Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men with matters like these for 30 years, and we'd love to help you.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robbins show.